Good morning and welcome to Trade Setup right here on BloombergQuint. It's Monday morning and after a while we have one full week of trade. So it's an important week as well because there's lots that's happened in the weeks gone by. There's been a bit of a rally and I think it's important to put all of that into perspective. But first, the news flow. And a fair degree of news flow, I have to say, just a lot of important stuff. So I'll start off with the India updates first, then move on to the globe and how the markets have done, and then come back to the trade setup for the day today. So first, some updates. I think Prakash Javadekar yesterday mentioned that at least until yesterday evening, there was no decision taken on resuming train as well as airline services, even if the lockdown were to be getting over on May 3rd. We'll get to know closer to time, I guess. Airlines are taking steps now. So Go Air is going to furlough 90% of the workers as the India lockdown extends. I think SpiceJet has said that people with salaries over 50,000, if I'm not wrong, will go on alternate leave. So airlines are taking some steps to counter the issues. PTI reports that cabinet is likely to approve a package for the power discoms facing a revenue loss. And I think from a power sector perspective, such a beleaguered sector, that probably this is important, though I dare say a lot of other fiscal stimuluses are important as well. And amongst other things, I think what was also very important, Thursday and Friday was full of conversation on social media about China, PBOC buying stake in HDFC, increasing stake. Now, what India has done and gone ahead and done a couple of other things. Amongst more important things, they've tightened the direct investment rules for neighboring nations. They didn't specify which nation, obviously, all nations with which India shares the border. One would reckon that this was in part due to maybe that as well. But an important piece of development. Now, news around the world. Spain has seen the lowest death count rise in a month. I was looking for some positive news, and maybe this was one. So interesting. I think a lot of countries are talking about easing lockdown moves. Germany is talking about reopening small stores starting today. So lots of things happening on the positive side as well. The slight bit of negative that I thought was that on Friday, S&P revised Indonesia's credit rating outlook to negative amidst virus outbreak. And one fears what could happen to a clutch of other countries as well with similar debt profiles as well. So it could be a tricky time on the next couple of weeks as far as ratings go. And Donald Trump has raised the prospect that China deliberately caused the COVID-19 outbreak, not directly, but in as many words. Bloomberg carrying this story as well. Important one. Do read about this. Now, come to markets now. There's a lot of updates, yes, the important ones I've given you. Let's come to the markets. The US markets did very well the whole of last week. Friday was an interesting move as well. Almost mirrored what the futures were suggesting, about 700 odd points. So the US markets did very well. The talk of town in US, of course, was Gilead Sciences went up, on a 10% up over thereabouts. Big talking point. Lots of developments have happened post that, so may not be the same gung-ho move today, but was doing very well in Friday's session. Now, the point is, as the case with Gilead, so also for the world markets. So they did very well whole of last week. I think they're taking a bit of a breather today. Asia started off slightly okay. Peripheral markets too marginally off, nothing too dramatic out there. US futures are trading with a bit of downward bias, taking a bit of a breather. I reckon whatever the SGX Nifty shows is one thing. You might well have a start which is marginally flattish in the session today. And therefore, I think it's important to take stock of the fact that we've had a bit of a rally already. The Bank Nifty, I reckon because of Friday's move, priced in almost all of the RBI positives and therefore could well trade sideways. Keep in mind. And for people who believe that we'll have a subsequent move, I don't know. I somehow feel that may not happen. I generally believe that the kind of rally that we've had, it's very difficult to see that continuing unless, of course, the world markets really go berserk. But in absence of a fiscal stimulus back home, we might not necessarily continue to have the same kind of a move. We need some stimulus packages to come in for the markets to stay well. Let's wait and watch if that happens. Telecom could gain though maybe not a very large market mover. And why I say telecom could gain is because of this particular reason. Reliance Industries. There's a chatter of a Facebook Jio deal getting inked very, very shortly. Remember, it came some time back when Financial Times reported it. Now there's a lot of chatter about this happening and this being very imminent. We do not have any confirmations of that, but do watch out. It could keep the stock price of Reliance Industries excited and could actually have an impact on some of the telcos as well. So an important stock to monitor today would be Reliance Industries on the upside. HDFC Bank. Well, financials at large may not necessarily do well, so I don't quite know how would this one do. My best guess is that it could do well because the numbers and the commentary seem pretty okay. Results were in line with estimates. The asset quality improved. The bank has said in the con call that they will continue to benefit from a flight to safety of liabilities. They believe that advances growth will remain higher than the market, and while the retail portfolio will be growing at a slower pace, the corporate segment for HDFC Bank will do very well according to the bank. So good performance under the circumstances, confidence about what the next few months hold in store. Well, HDFC Bank could well be a financial stock that could be interesting on start today. Kotak Bank is the other interesting one. Their board meet on April 22nd to consider raising of equity capital. The fundraising by FPO, private placement, QIP, or a contribution. Lots of theories out there whether this is to promoters to pare down stake or build up ammo for the future. I would reckon maybe it's building up ammo for the future. Well, they can raise money. They are raising money. So interesting stock to monitor. They've also cut down the savings rate, by the way, by 125 to 150 basis points across maturities. So do watch out for that. SIP closures for the month gone by spiked. So I think I would watch out for all the AMCs in the session today. HDFC AMC, Motilal, Nippon Asset Mutual Fund as well. So all of these three could be in focus today. Last but not the least, Business Standard reported on Saturday that L&T's gotten orders worth 27,000 crores in April thus far from various clients, domestic clients that too. So that's an interesting one. The stock has done reasonably well. Maybe L&T could well be a stock in focus. I want to end something with, and this trade setup with the piece that Prime Minister Modi apparently in a LinkedIn post mentioned, and I just want to bring it out what he was trying to say. He says that India, with the right blend of the physical and the virtual, can emerge as the global nerve center of complex modern multinational supply chains in the post-COVID-19 world. I dare say this will be very important from our country's perspective. It creates jobs, it gets other companies into here, but let's wait and watch if India does go and ride that last mile and try and get more foreign capital and FDI into the country once all the lockdown issues get sorted out. All have a good trading day, viewers. Thanks so much for tuning into this trade setup.
According to a recent report, women today contribute nearly 70